there, fifth graders. What's for your dinner tonight? Well, last night the Ravens had barbecue chicken, and this is a piece of leftover barbecue chicken. It's a chicken thigh. Do you ever wonder where your chicken came from? Today in class, we are going to be looking at a really cool website that tells us which state produces the most broilers. Now, chickens are raised for their meat, like for this, and other chickens are raised just to produce eggs. The ones that are raised to create meat so that you can eat barbecue chicken, those are called broilers. We'll find out today which state is the leading producer of broilers. Oh, then there's my coffee. Love my first cup of coffee in the morning. I know that I can't grow coffee beans here in Ohio. We simply do not have the right climate necessary to grow coffee beans. So it has to come from somewhere else. Some other place has to grow the coffee and export it to Ohio. Today, we are going to be learning which state is the leading producer of coffee in the United States. Now, there aren't a lot of states in the United States that can grow coffee. A lot of it's grown in South America and imported here to the United States. But I'm sure you've all heard of Colombian coffee. You've probably even seen the commercials. But today we're going to be talking about which state can produce coffee and which state produces the most. Oh, and then there's oranges. You may think you know which state produces the most oranges. I know that in Ohio we don't have the right climate to produce oranges. So today we're going to be finding out which state does produce the most oranges. And they produce so many that they have a surplus and they are able to export their oranges. As a matter of fact, they're specialized in growing oranges. Well, they have the right climate, they have the right natural resources, and they get really good at growing oranges, so they have enough to export. Oh, and then there's potatoes. You could have mashed potatoes, fried potatoes, also known as French fries. You could have hash browns, you can eat baked potatoes. Which state produces the most potatoes and then exports them to other states? Now, I know that I can grow a potato right here in Ohio in my backyard, but Ohio is not one of the leading producers of potatoes. Today you're going to find out which state is. Oh, then there's peanuts. Oh yeah, everybody, one of my favorite snacks. You can't bring this to school, but which state produces the most peanuts? Oh, and then there's my favorite food, my very favorite food, bread. I actually made this bread for our dinner last night. It was part of our dinner. The only thing that's in this bread is flour and water, and I put a little tiny bit of honey in too, just to kind of sweeten it up and extend the shelf life of it. There's no yeast in it because it's called a sourdough, and you actually allow yeast to grow on your counter and then use it in the bread. But the main ingredient in this is flour. It is flour and water. So which state produces the most wheat so that we can grind that into flour? We'll be finding out today. So on our lesson today, you're going to be looking at a website that you can click on any of the different 50 states, and it pulls up a PDF of the agricultural products that are in that state. We're going to have a really good time on a really fun scavenger hunt for some of the foods that you might have in your kitchen. What's for dinner and where did it come from? When you open the slideshow called What's for Dinner, you will see pictures of 8 different products. And your task is to find which state is the #1 producer of each of these products. potatoes, coffee, pineapple, raisins. Okay, it's not bread. Make sure you're looking for wheat and peanuts and raisins. And when you look for the broilers, don't look for chickens that produce eggs. Be sure to be looking for chickens that are produced for the meat. They're called the broilers. So on the second slide, it gives the directions. Your task is to find the state that is ranked number 1 in the production of each item. Now, for example, many states produce soy. Many states produce soy. But you are looking for the state that is ranked number 1 in the nation for the production of soy. Just keep track of your answers on a sheet of paper. You can use a sheet of scrap paper or even a post-it note, anything you'd like. And then when you're finished and you think you have found all 8 of these things, you're going to enter your answers in the Google form. So the sheet of notebook paper is just a scratch paper to make your job a little bit easier, so you're not constantly going back and forth to the form. Okay, so you're going to use this link. It's called National Agriculture in the Classroom. And a map pops open and you can click on any one of these 50 states on the map, or you can click on their name down here if you'd like. So for example, if I click on Utah, it opens a new tab with a PDF of information about Utah's agriculture. And there's a lot of information over here about the state flower and the state tree. There's some information about the climate and soil. But when I come over here to crops and livestock, one of the bullet points says that Utah ranks 2nd in tart cherries, 3rd in apricots, 8th in sweet cherries, and 15th in peaches. So Utah grows a lot of tart cherries. I actually didn't know that. But it's not ranked number 1. I'm looking for number 1. Now, cherries is not one of my questions, but I think I'm a little off track here, but I think I've vacationed in Michigan a few times, and they seem to be pretty well known for their cherries. There's a lot of cherry stuff up there. So I'm going to click on Michigan because I'm just curious to see if they're number 1 in cherries. So I'm going to scroll down here to crops and livestock, and sure enough, there it is. Michigan is the national leader in the production of tart cherries. That means that they are ranked number 1. So here is my slideshow. These are the 8 products I'm looking for. Here is the map. I click on any of these states. Every time I click on a state, it opens a new PDF of that state. Now, you can leave them all open if you'd like, or you can, as you're working, you can close them. I will tell you that the more tabs you have open, the slower your Chrome browser will work. So, happy hunting, and let's go ahead and get started.